If I talk about Industry 4.0, this is how the evolution happened. And this is just in last 30 years or so. Years before, people had not been speaking about WhatsApp. It appears that it is in our lives through our great-grandparents, right? The way it is like, every day it has become part of your, I don't want to use the word DNA, but part of your daily life cycle, right? So this is how it is, and that's where I'm saying what next? Because things are changing much faster, and this is how the digital world has changed. This is how it has changed. It has moved from those so-called, first where it is today, it's in fail fast or learn faster, but where it has moved away from departure to those sequential. So earlier it used to, entire software development life cycle used to be sequential, phase one after another. You will do business requirement specification, then you will convert them into system requirement specification, then you will do a high level design, then you will do a low level design, then you will start coding, right? Then you will start doing unit testing, then you will start doing integration testing, then you will start doing system testing, then you will go into user trial. What happens today? You code, you test, nothing in between, right? And then you reiterate, right? Things have changed, and things have changed very fast. And this is what I have witnessed firsthand. This is what I have witnessed firsthand, from where it was an enabler to industries to now it has become global supply chain. Whether it is banking or whether it is buying the bread, everything is e-biz, everything is e-commerce, right? Rather omni-commerce, right? You can anytime, anywhere, any place want to be connected. The question is not about connectivity, the question is about latency. Things have changed, right? Now, if you look digital, which we all talk about, digital, it started as a buzzword maybe about 10-12 years back. Am I right, Darshanaji? Right? I still remember I was flying to Singapore and I was standing at Changi airport along with one of my colleagues back in 2013 or 14. And there was a big hoarding on Changi which was something linked to digital. And we both, who are part of IT industry at that time, over 20 years into industry, and we both were scratching our head, saying that yaar karenge kya isko? What exactly will we be bringing in this? This is just little over 10 years back. To now it has become legacy, or it's becoming legacy because we are now into the world of LLMs, right? We are in the world of large language models. But still, when it comes to the folks who are buying the technology, right, for them, digital has different perspective. Connected people means digital. For some, connected devices mean digital. And for some, it is the connected systems, right? It is still very different world. Still, when I talk about digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation, there are so many folks, and not in this, people who are into academia or studying, even into industry, who do not have the clear demarcation or understanding of these three terms which I just talked about. People in the buying world, I'm talking of the buying world, Western world, they still do not figure out when, and I'm talking of many a times CXOs, when they talk about that I have done digital transformation, they might have only done that, device connectivity or system connectivity or, people connectivity. But it can go into different direction. Let's move a step further. You'll find something very interesting. Now look at perspectives within perspective. Customer experience is also a digital transformation. Digitized processes, as you were talking about, is also a digital transformation. Automated workflow, right? You are, putting your leaves and it's getting approved by various approvers is also a digital transformation. Partner ecosystem, you have set up a business as an entrepreneur, you have a partner ecosystem who are giving various, supplies to you, is also a digital ecosystem. Security and GRC is also an empowered employees. If you have employees whom you are empowered with respect to applying the leaves or applying for any incentives, bonuses, etc., is also. So you see, while we talk as one word, digital transformation, but when you start double clicking it, you'll start noticing the layers getting unpeeled, below. So wherever we are talking a perspective which is at the moment existing globally. Now we are in LLM world, this very different world which started just about 12 months before or so. And this is all about the data. This is all about the algorithms, and this is all about the deployment. All the roles in IT industries, from developer to blah blah blah, is going to be converged into just 3 roles: the data engineer or whatever, then data scientist and ML ops engineer. That's it. Entire technology industry will have to converge towards the 3, because here you are bringing data, making that right, shiny, tidy. Here you are doing the vector mapping, you are doing the model selection and so on and so forth. Once the model is tested, then third stage where you are deploying and testing and continuously. What erstwhile used to be an idle cycle will become the new MLOps cycle. By the way, am I talking which is resonating to yourselves, right? Because yes, no? Yes, sir. Okay, good. Because this is, when we are talking of digital economy, this is, the digital economy is what we are talking. Finally, this would convert into dollars to pounds to rupees to whatever you call it. But when you are talking of 4 trillion converting into 20, you are talking something very different world, very different ball game. Let's look at the different point of interest which I was talking about. This is what exactly happens in the corporate world today. When you speak to a CEO and you are speaking and talking digital, that conversation with CEO is very different to a COO. You are talking the same thing, but CEO will be interested only in the scope, but COO will only be interested in scale. CTO will only be interested in speed, and when it comes to COO, the marketing folks, they will only be interested in the sources of value creation. So again, earlier I spoke about perspective within perspectives. This you can see, these are the guys who are sitting on that same table to discuss the strategy of organization. These are the 3-4 roles, right, when it comes to corporate world, right? But when you are presenting to them your proposition, you have to be very, very conscious what exactly you are proposing to whom, and then how you will be positioning what you are going to speak. From here, if you see, I'm just, as I said, I'll be bringing different point of views and everything will be converged into a storyline. So stay here with me and ask wherever you find a question to be asked. Whatever you saw in past few slides, it's clearly giving that there's a huge fluidity, right? And what does that mean? That means a new paradigm. And what does that mean? It means opportunities for each one of you. Opportunities for each and every enterprising mindset. Whenever there is a fluidity, there is an opportunity. Let's take a couple of sports. Relay race or Formula 1. How the champions get decided? Anyone?
So my name is Manoj. I am from PGD of General. So the fastest team wins.
Okay, fastest team wins. Fine. See, fastest team anyway is going to win. What is that turning point? What is that place what is that thing which makes those athletes to prepare only that particular thing? Because you and I can also try and run faster. You all practice. What are those pointers which coaches develop athletes on?
Good evening, sir. My name is Megha.
Hello, Megha.
Is it persistency?
I think both of you have still gone into a generic answer. It is fine. Persistence is certainly required. Fastest is certainly the winner. The winners are decided only at the curve. Only at the curve the winners are decided, because lane pay, everyone drives exactly at the same speed. At the curve, who is faster is the winner. In relay race, the winner is only at the time of exchanging the baton. That's the point where winner gets decided, and that's where I'm talking here. This is the time which is the time of fluidity. Anywhere there is a fluidity, there is a bit of change, that's where the winner gets decided. That's your opportunity. If you catch that, then everyone will be following you. So for you, each one of you, the key message is, first of all, this is the time. The second is for you to spot that white space. That's the key. As an entrepreneur or as a business executive, because even in the corporate world, there's a lot of competition. Okay? There's a lot of competition. There will be a team of 5 or 50, but with one manager. And there will be mediocres, there will be performers, and there will be pleasers. And you have to make your face, right? Because at the end of the day, your manager or leader is also a human being. And he or she also would love to be pleased, right? And he or she would also need to be understanding the performer. So how you maintain that balance and at the same time come out as, the winner. Let's move on. Now let's understand a bit about the digital ecosystem. Okay, and again, be here when I'm talking of digital ecosystem. This is digital ecosystem which is in any space, in any business, in any shape and form, whether it's a LLM world, whether it was the yesteryear's world, or whether it's a legacy long back. These are the 3 pillars which define. Number one, you have to make sure in the current world, you have to make sure the customer experience. You all are customers as well, right? Whether it's the customer of Swiggy or whether it's a customer of Zomato or whether the customer of Blinkit. You are customer, you buy from that platform because of your experience, right? Or you go back to that platform, right? So that's the most important thing, data. Data is key because you as a customer would be prompt, whether you like it or not, but based on your shopping history, based on your internet search, you are continuously being pushed, whether you call that as data or whether you call that as an advert, you are pushed, right? And third one is the platform, because the platform which is pushing, how efficient, how plug and play the platform is an absolute key to decide. And if you understand these 3 pillars, then you become the top player. I'm just put the case in point over here. A very simple case in point, because each one of you flies, right, domestically or internationally. It's easy to say when we talked about the digital and perspective within perspective. अगर आपको एक system create करना है business का, तो you have to divide the components of entire business into buckets. If you see over here, what are these? Required to fly, required to operate, and running the business. For running the business, whether it is flying or whether it's any, you have to have your HR, you have to have finance, you have to have recruitment, and so on and so forth. Is that right? But when you're talking of flying, right? At the airport, you need to have departure control systems. At the airport, you need to have the booking and blah and so on and so forth. When you're talking of required to operate, you need to have the crew management applications and so on and so. So you have to have very clear distinction, and this is just case in point. I've just taken as an example because we are talking what? Digital economy. We are talking something, any business which is being converted into digital platform and is making or proving the game of leading against their competition or playing the game into the game of economics. So it's it's a game of very, very meticulously mapping your business to IT and then KPIs and KPP driven approach. I'll not go into this, but this is again, it is a mammoth work which happens right from top, which is the omni-channel, to below, which are all your systems, which are, aligned or lying, so on and so forth. So technology is no more an enabling function. It is the driving function for every business. You talk about any business, and that's where it's going to increase 5x. It's not that the world's economy, will move from 100 trillion to 500 trillion. Right? It is not that. It is within that, the digital economy, which is going to gain prominence, and going to gain prominence big time, ahead of any and other vertical or sector. Yeah. Let's look at trends and priorities, which I am sure each one of us is fully aware about. Right from AI, which you talk about, to 3D printing, to IoT, one of the gentlemen spoke about, to robotics. Super apps is not India has started seeing. There are some places. China certainly is working upon that side. IoT or blockchain is very clearly linked to Web3. The moment Web3 comes into play, blockchain is going to be the new norm. Okay. So these are the top trends. And when we look at the adoption priorities, the buying priority is still total cost of ownership. The TCO is still the number one at this point of time, followed by customer experience, to faster time to market, and security, which has become again a lot of prominence around the world. It is no more so-called vanity. It is the essential aspect when it comes to this aspect of things, security. So this section, if I summarize, it's all the game of the data, connectivity, and automation, and it's defining how we work, how we trade, and how we innovate. Let's look at the impact now. We have looked at how this story has been flowing. Let's look at the impact. So impact on global industrial growth. Number one is productivity. With this AI and robotics, we are looking for phenomenal increase in productivity, right? We are phenomenal increase in efficiency, and we are looking for phenomenal changes when it comes to innovation. And an example which we just discussed, about a week or 10 days before, and in last few years or so. This is going to speed up more and more. As simple as that. Now we are talking of challenges. If we look at the challenges, workforce. Now there's a lot of conversation talks, and then we all see in the newspapers, Citibank has laid off these many people, Deutsche Bank has laid off these many people, Standard Chartered has laid off these many people, Deloitte is, or KPMG or XYZ. I'm just taking the names as an example. They may not be the case, right? But workforce displacement is one of the big challenge. Cyber, because it is now becoming, especially post-COVID, every one of us wants to connect from any place, right? So for an employer, it has to be as secured pipe reaching to your home, right? So cyber has become another very big challenge. Unlearn and relearn. It's the game, which I said in the beginning, it's the game of asking the right questions rather than looking for the right answers. How quickly you can unlearn and relearn. I tell you one of my experience, and you'll laugh at it because it used to frustrate me at that point of time. I used to drive in India. I was a very experienced driver for several years in India who went for a driving license in UK about close to 20 years back. And when I hired a driving instructor, just after one lesson, he said, "Mr. Gupta, I think you need 100 lessons to even pass this exam. And I said, you know what? Why do you even say that, man? I've been driving in India for donkey's years, and I can drive whatever car you can. So he said, no, your bigger problem is unlearning, because the way I used to drive was one hand here, and do. This was not the case where I was the new land. Okay, it was not the case. You have to look at this. You cannot blow the horn. There was different norms. So it was the game of unlearn and then relearn. And that applies in today's world in each and everything. In 21st century, it is the game of unlearning and relearning. And digital divide. Because this is going to become a different race. This is going to become a very different race where the countries or the politics or politicians or the policies, let's put it like this, keep aside everything, who adapt to digital technology faster than others, who bring the aspect of policies or ethical AIs or whatever is the case, inculcate that into policy, will be leading, and anyone who will be slow, the gap will become very fast, very big. Here the time is like running a marathon with a speed of sprint. You're trying to understand where I'm going. Yeah. So these are some of the challenges. But when you are talking of challenges, they are the opportunities. You sitting in here can command your skills globally. Whatever you learn or whatever you at this point of time gain a skill, you actually can serve a US customer or Europe customer or UK customer sitting here, right here in Dwarka. Right here at this place, you can become a consultant who has a global reach, which was not the case pre-COVID, which was not the case, right? Talent access linked to that point. Green tech, lot of, I was speaking to, your faculty member, she was talking a lot about this, right? Madam Darshana, she was talking about green tech, right? We both were having one-on-one chat. New business models, everything, we have heard, PaaS, SaaS and IaaS, you would have been aware, platform as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service. So it's all about becoming the subscription-based model, right? So it's a huge opportunity landscape as we move around. See, if you look India, where we are sitting at this point of time, when I started my career, our USP was cost leadership, right? Our USP was cost leadership. As a tech, we were pretty good, but at the same time, we were pretty economic. Over a period of time, that cost leadership reduced. It became the game of two, volume and value. Okay? But that was largely focused around services sector, which is 1/3. The other sector is the software product sector, and the third sector is platform, right? In platform, we are still a consumer economy. In software products, we are still a consumer economy, right? There is no discussion of cost leadership or value leadership. While we participate in creating the products by sitting in those, continents, but are we someone who are creating and having that as an IP, who is selling to different other countries, with the exception of UPI, which is going to become a big thing, okay? But I'm not talking of folks like yourselves who are going to get into an enterprising world in just 12 to 18 months time, okay? So move your mindset. How can I contribute or move towards a creative economy? Because that's the case, you will find yourself all of a sudden isolating yourself from competitive landscape, because you will be only your own competition. Yeah, and that's something we are focusing in the different hat which I have, I'm wearing with the government over here, where we are focusing a lot in terms of how do we move away from consumer to creative economy. But that's where I'm saying the new business models are something which again is a big opportunity. So fluidity is here to stay for a while. It is here to stay for a while. Let's look at the critical success factors for you to become successful. What are those critical success factors? Critical success factors are linked to the foundation. First of all, adapting to the change. It's all about unlearning and relearning, right? This I call tsunami. And in this tsunami, whosoever can adapt, but ensuring what your core values are. Because the moment you are anywhere here or there from your core value, then you will find yourself landing into a competitive landscape. Each one of us have certain core value or core strength, right? One can be singer. If that person is a singer, why do you want to go into sports? And if you are a great sportsman, better focus on that. And if you are a great sportsman in one particular field, focus on that field. Don't switch on to hockey. If you are a cricketer or if you are a hockey player, don't move towards the soccer. So make sure what your core strengths are. Role of leadership will be very important. And leadership is not just about implementing something, or it's about guiding people through change. So when you are doing MBAs, you will be assuming the roles where soon you will have team working for you or along with you. They will be looking up to you, or they should look up to you, not because of your title, but because of who you the leader are. And for you to become that leader, you will have to play or lead by example. It cannot be the title. Am I making sense? Yeah. So this is where we are towards the convergence of our entire narrative. What is the primary driver of value creation when it comes to a business leader? So one said ease, one said, vision and linking that aspect of it. You guys are on the very right path. Okay? A business leader generates value not because what he or she does, but who or he or she is. Because that's where people will start looking up to you. It's more of your value system. And I'm talking something very deep. Take time to reflect now and later. Because what we are now talking, we are converging everything what we have spoken. And I will open in few minutes, the floor for questions. And questions can be anything. You can, whether it is linked to here or whether it is linked to your career aspiration or any other thing, happy for you to ask those questions, because I am the one who has been in trenches and I have lived those challenges. It was not always the ride which was, beautiful and hunky-dory. There were a lot of peaks and troughs. So happy for you to ask any questions. But a business leader generates value not through what he, she does, but who she or he is. And it's the consciousness, it's that awareness which gives that value. Again, as I said, we are going very deep now. We are going from a subject to the subject. We are going from a subject to the subject. Okay? And it's the consciousness, because the consciousness makes you as you, because at that time you start understanding you. Okay? Digital economy is not just reshaping the industry, it's reshaping how we think. There's a lot of stress on the word how we think. And when we integrate consciousness into leadership, we can ensure that growth fosters both inclusivity and sustainability. Inclusivity and sustainability. Because we are not talking a incremental growth, we are talking a quantum leap. We looked at from 4 trillion to 20 trillion. And when I was speaking to some of you, before the start of the session, most of you, wants to get into the mainstream of digital economy. Be it in the role of a finance guy or a e-based guy or, from the digital marketing side or whatever it is. We are talking of not an incremental growth, we are talking of a quantum leap. And when you are talking of quantum leap, most important thing is you have to work on yourself. And when I say you have to work on yourself, it's not about the competency. Competency is just one part of it. It is given. The definition of smartness is going to change big time. Because every answer is there with your chat GPTs or DeepSeek, right? Every answer is available. Then who you are. Only thing which these guys cannot replicate is your compassion, is your character, is your emotions, is your creativity, is your courage, is your curiosity. I can name whatever it is comes to my mind. But it can answer every other thing. It can, but those things are your USP. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So that's where how you think, how we think is the key. Thus, it's the consciousness which is the value multiplier. And I call these people consciouspreneurs. Thank you very, very much.